Kapsner, who has an excused absence for this evening. So, verification of notice, Chris?
The meeting was properly noticed in the paper and online and posted around town.
Okay. Board's point of public comment, which would be for any issues which are not on our agenda for this evening. Is there anyone who chooses to make a comment this evening? Yes, sir. If you would step to the microphone, name and address, please.
Are you doing the pledge or not?
My name is Garrett.
We didn't do the
You're
pledge,
right.
so you
I'm
do it.
sorry. We need to do one thing quickly.
It's a very important thing.
Do a pledge of allegiance. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Thanks, Joy. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag
of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
My name is Garrett DeBruin. I live at W7997 Hope Lake Road, Oakland Township. The reason I'm here is I've had several discussions with Gene Kapsner surrounding the proposed gravel pit asphalt plant right next door to me and across the road from these people. I know this meeting is not about re-debating the merits of the gravel pit, but you know, in the avenue of public comment, and maybe this would be helpful looking forward in future issues. The communication was, you know, just about non-existent about the proposed project. If you didn't happen to go to Lake Ripley Inn or read the Jefferson County Union, the only information we got about it was the letter in the mail from the zoning committee. So I think that and several issues raised at the public hearing led to what will inevitably be an appeal filed in regard to this. But more directly, speaking to the public comment side of things, there are a few issues in particular that I'd like made known. We had a discussion at the public hearing and with Mr. Cordes afterwards about changing the speed limit on Hope Lake Road, and that's something that this body has jurisdiction over. And I believe you indicated you were amenable to changing it to 35 miles an hour.
I'm fine with it, it's up to the town.
Sure. So, you know, that should be non-controversial. The importance of that is, you know, I'm sure many of you have been down Hope Lake Road. It's a tremendous amount of bike traffic, and in the proposed line of traffic, there are some serious blind spots and some, I view some serious safety concerns, and that's one of the reasons. One of the other reasons that I would like to speak here briefly is we spoke with the party from Asphalt Contractors Incorporated after the public hearing about our desire for a couple things that were never addressed. And I know, again, this body doesn't have jurisdiction over setback, but these people built a brand new house directly across the road. This is Dave and Sally Waddle. They live in Lake Mills Township, but they came with because this matter affects them directly. And there was not much question from Asphalt Contractors attorney that they would be amenable to changing setback, and to my knowledge there was never an amended petition submitted to the zoning board when they approved it Monday morning following the public hearing. And the third item, and it's really germane to your discussion tonight as you consider the road agreement, one of the things that nobody likes truck traffic on the road. I don't care who they are. But one of the things that we thought would be an equitable solution to the inconvenience is trucks and traffic rotating, going in and out of the proposed asphalt pit. 1 year they go east, 1 year they go west. As it stood in the petition, all truck traffic would go directly east, and I live on Hope Lake Road. Many of you have been there. If it's a question of road maintenance, the going west is actually in far poorer shape than going east. We just think that that's only fair to everybody in the community and might provide, make this whole thing a little bit more palatable if it rotates. And the reason I bring it up tonight is you'll be discussing the road agreement. 1 year one way, 1 year the other way. It makes it real easy to assess damage to a road over the course of a year when we know the entire route of traffic. It affects just as many people to the east as it does to the west. You know, we've counted the households, and, you know, in reality, most of the petitioners for the project live to the west, and we think that's an absolutely fair and reasonable thing to request. And one last thing, I'm not an expert in building roads, but I do know a little bit about the cost of them, and just reading the proposed road agreement, the bonding agreement seems a little bit light dollar-wise to me, and I hope you really consider that a little bit more thoroughly as you go through that agreement tonight. Do you have, any of you have any questions for me?
Thank you.
Thank you.
You look, I missed your, Garrett, I'm sorry, I missed your address on Hope Lake.
W7997 Hope Lake Road.
Thank you.
We're free to go?
You are.
You're free to stay, too.
Yes, you're free to stay.
If you can handle it.
I would just explain to you that the issue of speed limit involves both the town of Oakland
I
and the town of
understand
Lake
that.
Mills.
I
Because
understand.
we each have certain portions of Hope Lake Road which are under our control, so it would
Yeah,
have
I'm-
to be an issue that's arrived at by both boards.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I've had some discussions with Hope,
Okay.
no pun intended, from Lake Mills.
Yes.
Regarding some softwood trees that were a visual hazard, and she said that they would put that on her budget. I just cut them down myself, and so I understand that there's something that has to be.
Just wanted you to know that there
Sure,
was that.
appreciate that. And do you know when they will be considering the,
As best I know, they will be taking it up at their June meeting, and I do not know the date of that. But their June meeting is when I had heard that it was scheduled for them.
all right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Let's move to approval of minutes of the March 17th, 2020 Town Board meeting.
I move to approve the minutes of the March 17th, 2020 Town Board meeting.
I'll second.
Jimmy, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. 21st meeting minutes are done. Let's go to April 21, Town Board Conference Call Committee, Town Board meeting by conference call.
I'll make the motion to approve the April 21st board meeting conference call minutes as presented.
I'll second.
Second, Tom, okay. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, April 21st meeting minutes. And then the minutes of the April 27th Town Board meeting.
You need a motion for the
Yes,
27th
please.
board meeting?
Yes.
Yes, I'll make the motion.
Jimmy, okay. And a second?
I'll second.
Seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And motion carries. Okay, police chief's report. Bruce?
Oh, what's going on in the world of police work? Not much. Sidewalks are folded up, nobody's around. Kind of nice. No,
It's good.
overall with
It's
the
good.
COVID, it's been slow traffic and good. Guys have been hitting the back roads, the side roads. Some citations coming in that way, some education putting out there as well for them, which is nice. So I'm happy about that. Some of the guys are losing a little bit of time here because of full-time commitments at their full-time agencies up in Waterloo, the captain and the sergeant, so pain there for me, but it is what it is, and I just deal with it at this point. And that. I'd like to bring to attention some actions, and I meant to write a letter yet, I haven't given it to the board, commending Officer Bizzoni. Officer Bizzoni was responding to a pulseless non-breather a couple of weeks ago. Arrived on scene, began CPR, brought the person back. Sadly, I'm informed about a week later that individual did pass, but his life-saving techniques went into effect immediately, and he did what he had to do. I got a call from the director of EMS, and he commended him as well and said, hey, good job, thank you. So I passed it on to Armando, and I read his report, and he said nothing to me that he even had this event. Just doing his job as we always do. It's no big deal. He just went out and did it. But I wanted to make sure that the board was aware of his actions. So
Thank you.
kudos to Officer Bizzoni for his life-saving techniques. I'm very proud of him for that. Other than that, probably wondering why I've got an individual standing here next to me. This is going to be your new Lake Patrol officer upon your approval. Jared Foyt is who I've tapped on the shoulder. He's a student at UW Stevens Point.
Yep.
He'll be graduating next year. He's in the police academy right now. That's been dragged out because of COVID, but he's back out. He'll be finishing up here soon, which is good. He's got extensive background with boats already. He's looking to go into law enforcement in the DNR, the Department of Natural Resources. Man, did I was going to slaughter that. But that's where he's heading, and this would be a great stepping stone for him. So I stand before you to ask you to approve and have him appointed to the police department as patrol officer, and we'll be assigning him to our boat patrol.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the hiring of Jared Foyt.
So moved.
Tom moved.
Second.
Second, Jimmy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Not yet.
Welcome.
Not yet.
He's gonna-
Gotta swear him in.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Not yet.
Chris,
Hold your applause.
sorry, Chris.
That's all right. Come on up.
We always like a,
So please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I'll try and be easy on you. I state your name.
I, Jared Foyt,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Wisconsin,
and the state of Wisconsin,
and as a police officer for the town of Oakland,
and for the town, as a police officer for the town of Oakland,
I will faithfully and honestly
I will faithfully and honestly
enforce the laws of the state of Wisconsin
enforce the laws of the state of Wisconsin
and the ordinances of the town of Oakland
and the ordinances of the town of Oakland
without discrimination, fear, or favor.
without discrimination, fear, or favor.
I will conduct myself in a manner
I will conduct myself in a manner
which maintains the public trust
which maintains the public trust
and respect of the community.
and respect of the community.
I will treat others with kindness,
I will treat others with kindness,
empathy,
empathy,
and respect.
and respect.
I will support the mission, vision, and shared values
I will respect the mission, vision, and shared values
of the Oakland Police Department.
of the Oakland Police Department.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now's the time. Before I have you take off, I'm going to have you print your name right there, sign your name right there, and then I will be your witness, and you can keep that one. Okay. If you could do it on that one too, that'd be awesome.
You'll need to buy me a new one now.
I know I will. There you go. Welcome aboard.
Thank
You bet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You bet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's all I have. There's anything else for me?
Thanks, Bruce.
Anything? for Bruce? No. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Clerk Treasurer's report. Chris, a couple of items.
Yes. Real quick, I didn't get a chance to do an election update because we didn't have a in-person meeting in April. So, just real quick, election day was, the weather was beautiful. It was sunny and 72, 73, so it was a really great day to have everybody vote out on the parking lot. It went off without a hitch. I've heard almost nothing but positive comments from everybody, from people that I didn't even know that came to vote. So it was, turnout was great. At the end of it all, we had 85% turnout. Susan and I issued almost 1,100 absentee ballots in the office. We had a lot of help from Jean's daughter, Deb, who was one of our election inspectors, but she came in. We paid her for it, of course, but she came in to help out. We would not have been able to get it all done without her. So good to have that in our rearview mirror. Everything is done. Public Works made us these plexiglass barriers. We're going to use those either in August if we have an election. We don't know yet. We're definitely going to use them in November because November won't be conducive to have people outside voting. So we're getting ready for that. We've got plenty of hand sanitizer and wipes and gloves and all that good stuff. So we'll be ready for whatever happens. And then the other thing is last year we had talked about, the board had talked about having me write a grant for some speed signs that would flash the speed on Ripley Road. I asked for 2, we received 1, so we have a total of $3,400 coming from the Cambridge Foundation, which is awesome. There's a little bit more about that later on in the agenda, but we will get that money once we spend the money. It's a reimbursement grant, so once we spend it, I'll submit a receipt and we'll get that back. But Jean told me it's been quite some time since the town has received some money from the Cambridge Community Foundation, so I'm hoping that's not the last. But yeah, that's all that I've got.
Thank you for doing
It's
it.
good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add that to my resume too. Grant writer.
1 for 1? No.
Yes, 1 for 1 actually. 1 for 1.
Thank you.
I'm undefeated right now.
Road Supervisor report. Jeff is not here, so we've got some stuff later on that we'll get to and do that. Next in your packet is discussion of possible action on road and participating in county road aid for 2020. You have a letter with the information relative to the amount, which is $5,025. This has gone for seal coating and stuff, and we've continued to do this over the last several years. So it would be appropriate, I believe it's budgeted, correct?
Yes, it is.
So
Yes.
it would be appropriate, though, for us to move to authorize and continue our participation in the county road aid. So I would entertain a motion to allocate the 2025 or $5,025.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to participate in the county road aid for 2020 for $5,025.
Yes.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 And motion carries. Good. Okay, discussion on a possible action and conditional use permit for PIN 022-0613-013-020 to build a detached garage. The information's in your packet. Jay, you can step to the microphone right next to you there.
You want me to give my name and address?
No, that's all right. Sure, go ahead. That'll make everybody happy.
Jay Setterston, N4354 Beach Drive.
Okay, go ahead.
The garage I'm looking to build, for one, I do not have a garage at this time, so I need a garage in general. The other thing is the garage, in trying to match the garage to the house, our efforts were to match the roof line of the house as well as the existing dormer on the house. and working with a designer on the garage, trying to bring those features into play, got the garage to be taller than what is normally allowed. And then as far as the square footage goes, I have 2 vehicles, and I also have a boat and a riding lawnmower and a trailer, and I would like to keep them in the garage rather than scattered about the yard. So there's no need to move the driveway. The garage would be right at the end of the existing driveway. And if you look at the property, there's no view shed from any of my neighbors into the area where the garage is located. And we have, I believe, a minimum of 40-plus feet setback off of each property line. So, yeah, I'd like to give permission to build the garage, although it's a bit larger and taller than what is deemed acceptable through normal process. So.
Good. You had pictures and things. Plan committee recommended him also for the fact that he's adding some rain gardens and is being careful as far as storm runoff and keeping it on his property. So we recommend approval for this particular project. So
I make a motion that we approve the request of the garage addition.
No, second.
Second. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right,
Motion
thank you.
carried. Thanks, Jerry. It'll be up next week, right? No, just kidding. Just-
Now I gotta go to the county.
Yeah.
By the way, I will send this off to the county first thing in the morning tomorrow, so they'll know
Okay.
about it. So,
I
we'll be
hope
good
to have
to
it done by the time the snow flies. Done enough.
Good luck, Jay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
You bet.
Discussion and possible action on road vacation procedures. You received in your packet a copy of the road vacation process. Let me just, in terms of brief history, we've had one, we've gone through some vacations and found them to be cumbersome and difficult, and we wondered if there was a way to streamline it. We had the plan committee undertake a look at it, and because in the original process we had, they were the first place to review this, and then it would come on to the board. They handed over a document that was about 15 pages in December for review, and we gave it to staff to review. Staff has come back with a review and a revised procedure that is now like 5 pages, 5 or 6 pages.
I think so, and then there's the application packet in the back
Yes.
it's really information. Yeah, the whole packet itself is 5 pages. The last page is frequently asked questions, and the second to last page is applicant info. So really, we cut it down from what Ted said, 15, and that's about, it's pretty accurate. It's 15 to about 3. So.
And the other significant change that takes place is, after some discussion about this, that we will have staff do all of the preliminary work rather than having the plan committee do it. As we talked about this, and you look at it, everything comes into the office. Deputy Susan, Chris are going to be looking at everything, getting it all together. It seemed, why did we then create a second layer of bureaucracy for people to go through? If staff is going to have to get it all together and review it, they can say, this is now good enough, we have everything we need. So this would be, approving this, we would then turn this process over to staff for that, who would prepare the documents and everything, and then forward it to the town board when it's ready, which then is where we get to the required hearings and things are at the town
Right.
board level.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to go to the planning committee, right?
No,
I mean, it's
it
just- that's
it
just
was,
an
it
extra
was
step.
purely, if you go back, the last one we had,
Right.
planning department in, and as they worked through this, they said, well, we're getting all this stuff. Why why do we want to have another meeting? We're going to tell you whether it's complete or not, because you can't have a meeting until it's complete. So it just made a lot of sense.
It was actually my idea.
I think it's a good idea.
I
I
don't,
mean,
I
I
don't want
think
to take credit for it, but it seemed kind of,
to have the planning committee weigh in on a recommendation about a vacation, to me, doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because they really were all they were doing was they were going to certify that the application was complete.
I hate to agree with Jimmy, but I do.
You know, it's
Sorry.
kind of all of us are going to get in that. So that's.
Just joking.
You know, and they really did I'm glad that we turned it to staff to review, because
Yeah.
they did a really nice job and resolved some issues, so. So this would be open for a motion to adopt or approve this
I just have a,
question.
under what kind of road vacations are they?
Mhm.
They're,
mhm.
okay. Let's see, the fourth line are similar for both, but there are differences in them. Is that supposed to
Oh.
be between them?
Yes, it should.
Okay.
Maybe you should send these to Joy for.
Maybe. Wow, I'm impressed that you caught that.
That is good.
It really is good, yes.
And do you want to say that the clerk's office may offer advice?
No.
Really? That's.
Where's
under-
that?
Under responsibilities?
Oh,
Do you want to
yeah,
change that word?
I'm
from
okay with, I'm
advice?
okay with that, because we can advise them how to fill it out. I don't, as far as legal opinions and stuff, and I'm always one to say, anybody who asks me, the first thing I'll say is I'm not a lawyer. So if
Yeah.
you need a legal opinion, ask a lawyer. I can advise them based on the process. This process is really dictated by state statutes.
Right.
So I can advise them, go to
Step.
the statutes, go read this. I can interpret a little bit, but ultimately, it's their issue to complete. So I don't have a problem leaving it in there. If you want to take it out, I'm fine with that.
Well,
but
no, that's,
I'm okay
I
with that.
just changed the word to, I don't know, I've been trained, we don't give advice.
Mhm.
So information or direction or something like that, but if you want to leave it as advice, that's fine with me. Doesn't matter.
the clerk's office may offer,
I like direction.
just assistance. I mean, you don't have to say the word advice.
Okay.
I mean, assistance is really what people would be coming in and looking at is,
Right.
what do I have to do? Where
How
do
do
I
I fill this
start?
out?
Where's the form?
Okay.
So advice on the process, I get what you're saying. You're
Yeah.
not, you're not weighing your opinion on the person's individual, right.
I'm cool with that.
Let's change the word
Everybody concur on that change, those two changes?
advice to,
It's kind of petty, but.
No, it's not.
I mean,
I don't think it's petty at all.
I don't want someone
That's
to
what we're
say,
here
well, the
Yeah.
clerk advised me to do it this way.
Right.
I don't want you to get bagged like that.
I don't either. Thank you for looking out for me. I appreciate it.
Okay.
what word do we pick?
I put assistance.
Assistance?
Yeah, I
Okay.
put assistance in.
And let's see. I guess, I don't understand myself, but that's,
You don't understand what?
under road vacation procedure number 7, I'm not clear on what exactly that is.
So essentially what that means is that if they go through the entire process and they don't actually buy the land, then anybody can come in and buy it for that same price. So like say the value of the land is $10,000. If they don't write a check for $10,000 and the board and that party agreed to it, then anybody else can come in and say, I'll buy it for $10,000, and they lose everything that all the money that they applied for and everything they did, they would lose that.
Oh, okay,
It's a way of making sure that they follow through.
okay.
So, because one of the things that we had never clarified is, and we should have, is if we vacate it, you need to buy it. And it needs to go on the tax rolls and,
No, in the process that's defined, right.
yeah,
Exactly.
this
You
process
Just go through the
is-
process and
yeah,
at the end say, oh, forget it, I'm going to
Yeah,
Exactly.
call somebody else.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so,
That was all I had.
okay. We would be entertaining a motion to approve as corrected.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the vacation process as amended.
Second.
Moved, seconded. Any further discussion, questions? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Cross that off the list. That's been on there
Okay,
for a
that's
while.
been on there for a while.
Excellent.
Good, okay. Discussion, possible action regarding a house located at N4045 County Highway A. At last we heard that Juanita had had a heart attack a couple of weeks ago, and we've had no contact since then.
I called and emailed and did not have any,
No answer?
nothing.
I did see 2 garbage cans out.
I did too. Monday I saw 2
Good
trash
night.
cans out.
Okay,
That's
So-
good.
That is good,
yeah,
but I haven't heard anything, so.
okay. Well, we'll see, we'll try and stay after that and get them back
So
on
we're
track.
going to table that? Is that?
It's an ongoing thing. I would invite anybody else to volunteer for the tours.
No, thanks.
Okay. We'll see on that, so. Okay, next item up, discussion, possible action on the 2021 assessor contract. I understand we just received that today.
Or was it
I haven't
not
seen
yet
it.
today?
We
Yesterday.
haven't seen it.
No, it didn't make it for the packet, so we'll have it for June.
So.
You want to
what-
hold off till June?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have it for June.
We'll
I've got it.
consider it. We've gotten it, and we'll review it and bring it up for June, at our June meeting. Do you want a motion to table that, or do you want to just?
No, that's fine. I'll just keep it on it.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right, so we'll move that to consideration for the June meeting. Okay, discussion, possible action on road agreement with Asphalt Contractors Incorporated. You have that in your packet. Bob, did you get my last set of emails?
Yes, I did.
And I checked before I came tonight, I hadn't gotten anything back from you.
I thought we were gonna sign it here right now.
Okay, so, we had sent a thing with, for signature with that and required a certification. We got something back from Bob's secretary. Unfortunately, Mary looked at it and said, that isn't what I asked you for. And so then I sent something to Bob the other day, or yesterday, that Mary had prepared and stuff. I don't know if you had a chance
So
to
it's-
read.
This is the new?
This is the newest agreement. The thing that was not what we wanted was, because it's a corporation, we asked them to provide a statement of authority for whoever signs this to sign on behalf of the corporation. So it's a separate piece of it, but the rest of this is, as we've worked on it. Just to address a couple of the issues, the way the agreement is written, we've allowed or have provided for traffic to go both ways. We have not restricted them while they have said that they thought normal traffic would. We have, in this agreement, we have covered all of Hope Lake Road from County Highway A to County Highway G. We have covered Bigelow from Hope Lake Road to 18. We've also covered Crossman from Highway A to Hope Lake Road. So all of the roads that are in our jurisdiction and town of Lake Mills jurisdiction are covered by this and are available. So the idea that traffic can be, and that can be an agreement that we would work out subsequent to this if they wanted to deal with switching traffic. The idea that that this is, what's the second point? Speed limit, again, that's an issue for Hope Lake, and issues of setback are county issues, so they don't have an impact here on what we're doing.
Right,
So.
they were town of Lake Mills too, weren't, isn't
Pardon?
that what he said? That couple was not town
Right,
of Oakland.
because Hope Lake Road is in part, starting at basically Crossman and going east is Hope Lake is town of Oak, or town of Lake Mills. You can get a little bit west of there and you come west to Highway 8, that's then ours, and Bigelow Road is ours. Crossman is also town of Lake Mills. So Lake Mills has the exact same agreement which we drafted, and they've accepted that. And they're going to be reviewing that at their at
Well,
their June meeting.
I think one of his first concern, one of his biggest concerns was the communication part. And I think we need to take a look at that in more detail to find out, really what, like you said, if you weren't at the Lake Ripley Inn and read it on the wall, the only way he found out about was the notification through zoning, which means it was already past us and already in the zoning, in the zoning at Jefferson County agenda. So I don't believe we reached out to the neighbors. I do remember when they presented this to us one of the first times, that they said they've spoken with all the neighbors there and said everybody was fine with it. That I distinctly remember being told by the group.
That was Jeff Traeger, said he took contact with the neighbors, but didn't have any opposition with anybody.
Well, that obviously wasn't the case here, so I don't know how, should we have had a special meeting? I know we had talked about it and made it more public, so people could have made their comments before it seemed like it just got washed through this thing.
Yeah, we had a rather lengthy plan committee meeting. Beth was there, made the presentation on behalf of the Lake District, and there were other comments. But yeah, I think, it's always a difficult thing to know which issues are going to arise to the point of being public and wanting more information. So I think that's something we maybe need to talk about a little
Something of
bit
this
more.
magnitude, I think we look at a little more closely before it seems to be, I don't know, I don't want to say pushed, but seems to be, put through these agendas without much communication. And I know you said that they did communicate with the neighbors, but evidently not this one.
Well, and I'll just real quick, I remember, because I was here in January, I remember the introductory meeting in January there wasn't a whole lot of discussion, but it was more a presentation from them to us. Then there was a plan committee meeting in February, because I had to cover that for Susan. Then there was a board meeting in February. Then there was another plan committee meeting in March. Then there was the board meeting in March. So there were 4 and I'm not saying, I want the public to understand, we do the best that we can. We post it on our website.
Oh, I understand all
We
that.
put it in the
Right,
newspaper.
right.
We post it all around town. We actually go above what the statutory requirements are. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, but I'm saying we do that. It is very easily accessible on our website. So if people are interested, it's like 3 clicks and you're there. Like literally, click agenda, it pulls up. So this is an issue that many municipalities struggle with when something pick your issue. I wasn't notified about it. I would say we can't notify everybody about everything every time. There's a cost to that. So I'm going to leave it at that. I feel for the residents that felt they weren't notified about it. To the best of my knowledge, we did everything that we were required to.
I understand we did everything
If
legally.
we've got something
Right.
that we feel maybe we should,
Right. I just thinking as a board, I think this is something that us as supervisors probably need to revisit a little more closely. Because I don't think it's pleasant to hear that someone didn't know about it that lives right there. And he
Yeah,
comes and says that I
We can
didn't.
do a better job of notifying the immediate people, right?
I would
Yeah.
think that would be a better process, I think. And I get, Chris, that we've done everything that you guys do on your end to post and do all the things that we do. I get all that. Because we have the same things at the Lake District. We do it the same way.
Okay.
Then it's hard to decide what's going to be a real issue, too.
Yeah.
True.
This
That's
is
the
a
other issue.
big project, but did we really
Should
know?
we notify the people directly affected? I don't know. But
the only issue that I would say is that, and I'm thinking as my wife is a teacher, if you do it for one, then you have to do it for everybody. If you make an exception for one, you have to make an exception for all. And I want to treat everybody fairly. I don't know what the answer is, but whatever you guys tell us to do, we'll do it. But just keep that in mind, that if you make
That is a good point, because you've got restrictions or requirements as to what you should do, and then if you make an exception for someone.
somebody else could say, well, you made an exception
Yes.
for those guys, why aren't you making it for me?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I do agree with that, big time.
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
every now and then, in front of plan committee, we get interesting things, and gee, should we have,
Right.
notified all of
Right.
Jay's neighbors? Personally, being one of Jay's neighbors, I can't wait for him to get this done, because it's gonna look a whole lot better. than
Tough
than what's
situation.
there now. Yeah, so it's a hard thing. All of that is outside of the road agreement, so
Right.
let's,
I would, yeah, it's outside of the scope. But
so we need to, that's another discussion that we kind of need to have and ask maybe staff to think about that a little bit more, so. Let's get back to the road. Bob, you're ready to sign? We don't have to do that right now, we can, but we'll do that before we leave tonight.
I have a question.
Yes.
There will be no weight restrictions placed on
I saw that, yeah.
what, I guess, what's the point in, I mean, so they can have as much weight as they want on these roads?
Yes, as long as,
No, you can't,
well, yeah, go
you
ahead.
know, you can't overload our trucks.
Right.
There is a restriction on what we can do. And as we look through the history of Oakland Road through Tom Amity, the road was originally built for heavy trucks because the county used it, nobody else used it. So, I mean, it is built for it, but yeah, we're not gonna go crazy wild with heavy weights on that road because we can't drive down any other road like that. So you wouldn't do that.
Would it be normal practice to have a weight limit on a road that's going to have this kind of use?
To get to Bob's point, we're not going to slap weight limits on that are below what they need for their business.
To
But
drive the
they
truck, I
can't,
know, I get
but they
that.
can't overload their trucks, and so de facto, the weight limits that are on County Highway A, County Highway G, 18 govern, because that's the only way you can get in and out.
And then that's why
Now-
we have the road agreement, so in fact, we go out there and create potholes or disturb the surface, it's our bond, we have to fix it.
What is that agreement, what is that weight limit? Do you know you know what that weight limit is on the Highway 18?
80,000 pounds,
80,000 pounds?
yeah.
Now, but this also is, if they don't do what they've said they're going to do in the agreement, we can immediately slap weight limits on of 10,000 pounds.
It
And
doesn't benefit us to take
Right.
wreck your roads, because we're here for a long term. So in the short term, if we wreck the roads, and you guys say you don't want us anymore because we're wrecking roads, not living up to what we said we do, that just doesn't make sense. Plus, that's our business, so I mean, if we do something to the roads, we're gonna be right there to fix them. We're not
How
gonna,
much does one of your trucks typically haul? How much weight?
22 tons on a loaded truck, so the truck's probably going at 73,000 pounds. That's the maximum,
How much is the maximum with the truck?
73,000,
73?
yeah.
and the
7,000 under.
And the highway is 80, so.
Okay.
And that's why we have twice-a-year inspections. They have requirements to fix. And I understand we've already done the video with the engineer from Lake Mills, has gone out and videoed all of the roads.
Have they done it already?
I thought he was, but I'm not sure, Bob, so we need to find that out. But there are protections built into this
An
agreement.
additional, see, we're bonding the road, but like that egg farm up there, there's somebody driving down those roads every day. And I pass them several times already. So there's other truckers already using those roads, but we're taking on their weight limits too, so.
Yeah.
I mean, and we're willing to do that.
Yeah, we've got farm equipment and stuff, so. So, to the agreement, motion to approve.
I'll move to approve the road use agreement.
Okay,
I'll second.
give me a second. Any further questions, discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Bob, we'll do the signature before you leave.
Okay.
Okay, so. Opening of road bids, and we're just going to open and acknowledge.
I will let you know, we only received one on time. The one that we received from Wolf was today, and it was late. So, just something to note. I have that labeled on the envelope.
When were they due?
I think yesterday.
Oh, okay,
What is today, Tuesday?
yeah.
Yeah, yesterday. Number one.
Okay, we have a bid from Payne and Dolan for Wolf Road Beach Drive, and also for Perry Road, those two sections. The reconstruction of Wolf and Beach Road is at $80,116. Are you writing these down?
No, I won't. I will, but
$80,116.30. And Perry Road, the two areas that we highlighted on our road tour, Payne and Dolan is saying $37,807.50. So we will
number 2.
look at those. Wolf Paving, request of bids. Town of Oakland, and this would be Beach Drive, and this would be at $87,792.40. And the paving on Perry Road would be at $39,945.60. And we will make decisions on these at a later time after we get the engineering study done on drainage. We'll then take these into consideration. Okay. Discussion regarding memorandum of understanding between Lake Management District and ACI. Jimmy, do you want to talk on this? or-
Sure. We have the agreement written, and we have delivered it to both parties. We got our legal counsel to help us write this up, and we had conversations with ACI, and in my understanding is you've agreed to this partnership working forward. So we're glad to have that moving forward, and we wanted to present it today to the board here because the motions were made in our board. So we've already passed it in our board Saturday. So this is passed our board Saturday, and I just want a part of the record,
Right,
part of
just,
the minutes.
yeah, just as a reminder to everybody, when the Plan Committee recommended this, they recommended that there be a memo of understanding between the Lake Management District and ACI. That also was passed at our board meeting, and so the Lake Management District has taken care of that responsibility. So.
I don't think there's anything left we have to do to this agreement, other than it won't be a draft when I think we're waiting for a signature, right, Beth? So soon, before you leave today, if you could sign. What's that?
No, I have this draft on it.
Yeah, we need to have one that doesn't say draft, then you can sign it for us. Yep, I think we could do that before you leave today. Beth's here today, so we can probably get that taken care of.
Okay, good. All right, good. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Discussion, possible action on purchase of 2 speed signs for Ripley Road. Do you want to talk any more on this, Chris?
Real briefly, so you remember that grant that I was talking about earlier? Chief had sent an email out to Josh Coons from Decker Supply. This is back in, I think, October. It is October. And Josh had sent out another email just kind of to every clerk in Wisconsin advertising it, that, you know, that they had these speed signs, all that stuff. And so there's a lot of numbers on here, and fortunately Ted brought this up to me and was like, well, what are we looking for? So what we would be looking for is, and I can't remember if I attached a picture at all.
Yeah.
Did I? In your
Picture of
packet?
the sign?
Yeah, okay, good. So that's what we would be purchasing, and if we get one, it's $3,400. If we get 2, the price comes down a little bit. I'm not 100% sure as to what that is. I think it's $3,300, $3,200 each, but the question that I need answered from the board is do we want to get 1 or do we want to get 2? And
2.
If you're looking for a suggestion, I would say we get 2. We have enough in reserves where we could, this one is free and we'd pay for another one. I don't think that's a problem at all. But Josh told me that there's about a week to 10 lead time that he would need before it would get here, and then he could work with Jeff and Dave for installation and that kind of stuff. But we essentially, we have a free one, so we can buy one now, and then I could try and write another grant and maybe get a second one free. But honestly, I don't know that, I think the Cambridge Foundation would probably want something different. They would be like, well, we already gave them a speed sign, what else could we give them? So
I think it's a great deal. They got a grant to get one, and all the talks we've ever had has been about putting one on, towards my house and one towards your house, so.
I think you need to, I think it's better to get two, my
Well,
personal.
yeah, given the way you guys speed, yeah. Well, and this is a better deal than, I mean, when we started looking at this, these were like $5,000.
Yeah.
So getting the grant that pays for one and a second one at $3,400
You need both.
is so.
And I've worked with Decker before, they're a good company,
Good.
they're good to work with, so I have no problems with them at all.
They service them, you know, how's that work? The service and all that?
I've never had that come up, honestly.
Okay.
But I'm sure they would be available if we needed them for stuff. I'm sure it wouldn't be a problem.
No, I think it's a good thing. I think we need to move on it.
Then we could entertain a motion to purchase these.
I'll make a motion to purchase 2 signs for Ripley Road.
And would
Second.
you add to that using reserve money
Okay.
or reserve
Sure.
funds?
Using reserve funds to purchase it.
Second?
Second, okay. Questions, comments, any further? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Correspondence, Chris?
FYI, there was no court last month, so their court was postponed because of the COVID virus, so you don't see any court dockets, but there is plan committee minutes. And then I got this notice from Jefferson County about a public hearing regarding the Dinion property, and I think I took a copy of that and included that in your packets. I actually had a resident call me about this. The resident received it before I did, so I had no idea what he was talking about until the next day. So just something that I thought you guys might want to be aware of. The county is having a public hearing on May
Right.
21st.
And I will be there. 'Cause
And Ted will be there.
This is at our request that they're having this hearing.
At what point do we start hearing the information in our meetings?
You've already had.
We talked about it.
Yeah, you sent a letter to the county asking them to take this action, which, okay, let me refresh everybody's mind on this. John Didion owns 3 parcels along Highway 18
A.
between 18, or A, and up to, I forget, the last house there. Owns 3 parcels, one of which is in our urban service area and designated, I don't know, R2, A2, whatever. And then 2 are outside of our service area and designated in agricultural preservation property. Our town plan shows all of those parcels in our urban service area and none of it in agricultural preservation. The county's map differed from what our town plan is, and our town plan has been consistent for the last 12 years. And the county redid their map in, I want to say, 15. And somehow it got left out. So we then, as a town board, sent a letter to the county planning and zoning, which was back in November, December.
Yeah, October, November, December.
Saying, please, we would ask you to make the correction to your map, to amend your map, to show what is correct and that it is in our urban service area. And we confirmed, we met with the sanitary district to confirm that in fact it is in the service, and it is, and so it's a matter, we have petitioned asking for that to get designated, because that's one of only 2 parcels that are left in our urban service area that are developable. Now, whether we ultimately develop them, don't know, but it's.
But my point was that process goes through the planning committee when that becomes
Once it-
reality.
Yeah, once it.
And then it
once
comes back to our board
oh,
again.
Yeah, once it gets back in, then if there is development activity
That
or
was my
discussion,
Yeah.
then it's gonna come, it's gonna go back the whole way.
Okay.
But the point is, it's kind of, John Didion doesn't want to put money into, studies and stuff if it's not going to come out of the ag preservation. That
Right.
would be, so the first step is get it out of ag preservation, put it in the urban service area, then it becomes one of the 2 parcels that we can look at and say, is there a need, is there a sense, how do we want to proceed? And then we at least have a basis for, approaching it.
Right.
it's necessary to start. So that's what that's about. And I was planning to attend the public hearing on behalf of the town. So, it's important for everybody to understand that there are no development plans. There has only been a discussion that John would be interested in talking if it gets out of the ag report. So we're not building anything, we're not plowing anything, we're not doing anything except putting it back in sync with our plan. And that's it. So, okay. Annie?
I just have a question. On April 21st, what happened with the Ranger Power contract? Because that was supposed to be put on the May agenda.
It will be on the June agenda.
Okay.
There was a 2.5-hour conference call 2 weeks ago, 10 days ago on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Jefferson County, or the town of Jefferson attorney had rewritten some things and had raised some points of contention. There was then a 2.5-hour conference call that Gene got on. I was glad he did that. And they worked out some of the issues, and it'll be redrafted and sent to us. There were some things in there that were important that made sure that the towns received notification of certain things that maybe hadn't been. But there will be a revised agreement, and it should be slated for the June meeting.
We're waiting.
So, yeah.
Now, this is something that there have been plenty of public hearings on, or public
Yes.
meetings. So, okay.
Yeah, there was back in.
Oh, it was cold. I mean,
It was in the
Yeah.
well. It was in the fair. It was at the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
There was an evening, afternoon.
March? February?
It was cool, and there were.
Wasn't one
Two-
on a snowy day?
I don't remember. There were 2 or 3 that people from the town of Oakland that did show up, and one of the issues had a lot to do with one had a concern for setbacks, and the other had a concern for masking trees, boundaries. And I believe, I'm confident that setbacks were addressed. I don't remember right off the top of my head, but I think they were, the masking kinds of things. So, okay. Approval of disbursements?
I'll take that.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the disbursements beginning with Hometown Bank check order from Deluxe Business Systems through and including electronic funds transfer 91631505 to the United States Treasury in the aggregate amount of $125,000, $125,361.81.
No, second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carried. Any other announcements?
I got an A in my class this semester. Thank you.
Congratulations.
4.0. Still got it.
My daughter was too, and she
There we go.
graduated with a
I
master's.
know Jeff's not here today, but do we know when the pier's going to go in by Arbordell that the township owns? 'Cause we are getting a lot of calls and questions on that. It's not in yet.
Don't know, but I can ask. I know Jeff's been a little bit discombobulated with tearing
Shop
up with
floor.
with the shop floor being
Yeah.
torn up. But I'll ask.
This is not there's a separate one?
We have 2 piers. So
Well, I only
Oakland
know about the one by the.
Oakland
off
Township
Island
has 2
Lane.
piers.
One by
on the-
Arbordell.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that's,
a
Yeah,
community
and
pair.
The Lake District, kind of cleans and plants and has the plantings there. And of course, the longer those pier sections stay on the ground, the more kill we'll see with the plantings that are there. And of course, we have a lot of people wanting to use that space.
Along those lines, the buoys are not in the lake yet. They will be in this week. The outfit that we had been using has been giving Jeff a lot of grief, and so I contacted 4 different marinas, and 3 of them all suggested Newburgh Marine. They're going to be doing.
What's the name of it?
Is it Newburgh, Beth? Is that what I told you?
You're Newville.
Newville
Oh,
Marine.
Newville.
Newville Marine.
Okay, that makes
Um,
more sense.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was new something, but I don't know exactly when it's going to be this week. I'm guessing Thursday or Friday, but the buoys will be in by the end of this week.
We would like to be notified certainly because in the past they've been in the wrong location and of
Yes.
course we field all the calls.
And they have
And
the
they won't come
map.
back and fix it.
They
so
have the map with the GPS coordinates and everything. They've got.
Give
I've
the
gotten-
office a call when they come.
Yeah.
So somebody can at least.
So just, they'll be in. I know they're not, they'll be in. And then we're going to work on having a schedule for them for fall to take them out and for a year from now to put them back in, because it seems like that wasn't done before, and that's okay. But they have work they already do on Lake Ripley, so they want to schedule us in right with all that stuff. So
Okay.
we're on top of it.
Okay.
Good.
And I'll follow up with Jeff to find out on the pier. So,
Thank you.
okay. Anything else?